Hi, today we are going to talk about the moon and how to sync your menstrual cycle with the moon. So if you're watching this and you don't have a menstrual cycle, this video may not be for you. This is for those of you who menstruate. Syncing my cycle up with the moon has really helped me feel more calm and centered. I feel like I'm more in alignment with the energy around me. And it's just been really nice to feel more in sync with nature and the flow of life. Different energies come out at different times, and so it can be really optimal to take advantage of that. Number 1, understand and sync up with the moon phases. So I've made an entire video about the moon phases. Make sure to check that out so you can learn more about the kinds of energy during each of the different phases of the moon. But similarly to that, we also have 4 phases of our menstrual cycle. We have the follicular phase, the ovulatory phase, the luteal phase, and the menstrual phase. And the menstrual phase is where we bleed. So cycle syncing means honoring the 4 phases of your cycle. During our follicular phase, which is after the menstrual phase, it's easier for us to push ourselves. We can plan and prepare. We might feel more active and more energetic during this phase. During ovulation, we feel more connected. We are biologically looking for a mate, basically. So we are more attractive. We feel more magnetic. We feel like we want to interact and connect to other people and relate to others. So during this time, it's really important to collaborate and really talk to people. During the luteal phase, you're going to want to tie up loose ends. This is also the phase where a lot of us experience PMS symptoms. Slowing down, going inwards. You may not feel as social the closer you get to your period. During your period, there is a lot of time to reflect. And also, our metabolism speeds up during the last 2 phases of our cycle. So we can digest things more quickly and more easily, and we tend to crave heavier foods. The phases are like the 4 seasons. The follicular is spring, ovulation is summer, luteal is fall, and menstrual is winter. So if you want to sync your cycle up to the moon, you want to start cycle syncing, and the more you can get your cycle synced up to nature, the better. Number 2, circadian rhythm. So not only do we who menstruate have a 28-day cycle, give or take, it's different for everyone, but on average, it's 28 days. Our bodies also have something called a circadian rhythm, which is a 24-hour cycle. So traditionally, we wake up with the sun when the sun rises, and we go to bed in the evening when the sun sets, right? Sorry to burst your bubble, but night owls are actually not a thing. If you're a night owl, it is a sign that you're very disconnected to your circadian rhythm, and there's actually something wrong, okay? So next time you're like, oh, I'm not a morning person, I'm a night owl. If you are in tune with your circadian rhythm, you don't get all groggy and tired in the morning. You wake up, you get out of bed, and you are you rise with the sun, and then you go to bed with the setting sun, the sunset. We have basically been taught to ignore our natural needs, our natural bodily rhythm. We stay up late and scroll social media and look at our phones and the blue lights. And this is bad. This disrupts our melatonin production. It disrupts our body and our ability to fall asleep or have deep sleep. We take all these stimulants, even coffee. A lot of us have jobs that we have to work late for, or we're studying well into the night. And so society kind of forces us to ignore our needs and ignore the natural state of things. And every human being on this planet is connected to this circadian rhythm. So try waking up with the sun. Start setting your alarm little by little and getting the hang of waking up, getting your body in tune. And I know a lot of you are like, yeah, but I want to stay up late. Well, which one is it? Do you want to cycle sync with the moon or stay up late? Because the way you are exposing your body to light really impacts this whole thing. So some ways that you can balance and find your circadian rhythm again is to go to bed when it gets dark and wake up with the sun. And I know some places, like if you're really up north, you might have different like times, and so it might get really dark early. Just try to wake up with the sun if you can, and try to be more consistent because your body naturally gets it, you know? Try to eat an early, light dinner and eat most of your food during the day. Because what happens is when we go to bed, we're digesting all this food, and it can actually disrupt our sleep and make it harder for our bodies to like do its thing, because we're detoxing while we're sleeping. There's a lot going on while we're sleeping. It's not just, you know, us asleep. It's like our bodies are doing a lot of different things, and a lot of that has to do with detoxing and digesting food. And so when you go to sleep right after a meal, or when you've eaten something really heavy, you're going to feel crappy. Like it's not going to be good. No midnight snacking. I try to have my last meal at 6 p.m. at night. Obviously, I don't do that every night, you know, but I try to do that because it gives my body time to do its thing and kick ass. Also, turn off your electronics at least 2 hours before you go to bed, and try to wind down for bed. You know, get into bed, read a book, meditate, do something really chill. What you don't want to do is stay up watching horror movies or playing horror video games. Also, try to turn off your lights before bed, because it's not just blue lights. Like if you have all these lights in your house on before bed, it's going to really fuck with your melatonin, and it's gonna fuck with your body, and it's gonna make it so much harder for you to have a restful sleep and not feel groggy the next day. So believe it or not, I wake up at 6 a.m. every day without any help. Like I don't even have an alarm. I actually do have an alarm, but I usually wake up before my alarm. It's kind of like a just in case alarm. And I feel perfectly energized throughout the day. And then I tend to go to bed at 10, but I'll get into bed around like 9 or 8 even. You can also get those blue light glasses. I have some of those. Those are really nice for when you're looking at your screen and you know, don't want to put it down. Try to have a good bedtime routine. It really helps. Number 3, sleep under the moonlight. Moon bathing is a thing and it works. Exposing yourself to this kind of light is really helpful. So I know it can be tempting to get blackout curtains, but try getting maybe some more sheer curtains, or opening your curtains up at night if possible. Number 4, hydrate. So we are made up of water, mostly water. And the moon is deeply connected with water. As you may know, the moon has a lot to do with the tide changing and the waves and the sea. So the more connected you are and the more hydrated you are, the more the moon will have a sway over your body and its natural rhythm. This means enjoying a bath and relaxing, maybe on a full moon. It doesn't just have to be water, but make sure you're staying hydrated. It's good advice for anyone. Number 5, activate your divine feminine energy. We all have this balance of masculine and feminine energy. Other cultures have different names for it. I think there's the yin and the yang, the Shakti energy. And when I say feminine and masculine energy, I'm talking about energy. I'm not talking about male or female. However, nowadays, most of us have a lot of imbalance when it comes to these energies. We tend to have more masculine energy than feminine energy because of the way our society is. It's the patriarchy. You know, we have a lot of societal pressures and disruptors that are affecting our hormones and affecting our period. And so when we're really imbalanced like this, it can really disconnect us from ourselves. But women are basically taught to suppress their feminine energy. So masculine energy is problem solving, grounded, action-oriented, go-getter energy, analytical, competitive, and protective. They have a very strong desire to achieve and succeed. Whereas feminine energy is creative, flowing, expressive, intuitive, inspiring, compassionate, playful, nurturing. There's a strong desire to be loved and to love. So think about it. Career, success, ambition, drive, logic, productivity. These are all celebrated in our society. Whereas we don't tend to care as much about being creative or listening to our intuition or nurturing or trusting. And in many ways, for a lot of people, this is seen as weak. Think of masculine as more outward, but feminine energy is about attracting things. It's magnetic. It's about manifesting the life you want while you take care of yourself. It's about reflecting and going inward. So to start activating your feminine energy, you have to start listening to your intuition because we've been taught to ignore it. You also have to listen to your body and don't push yourself. Do creative activities and practice self-love. Instead of focusing on going after success, focus on your own energy and attract success to you. Number 6. Spend time in nature. Go outside. Spend time with the plants and the trees, even going to the beach. The more you spend time in nature, the more you're exposed to nature, the better it will be for you. Number 7, explore your moon sign. Navigate your chart. Look at what house your moon is in. I'll actually post a link below so you can get your chart for free if you haven't done it already. And I've made an entire video about what your moon sign means. So be sure to check that out if you want to know more about that. But I feel like looking at the area of your life, the house that your moon is in, will really help you because knowing how to navigate those areas will be crucial for you syncing your cycle with the moon. 8, we're always changing. It's unrealistic to think that you're going to be synced up with the moon, like a certain moon phase, every single month. It rotates over time. You will find yourself, menstruating with the waxing or the waning moon, and that is totally okay too. And you might feel more aligned with one type of cycle. So in the olden days, there were a lot of, superstitions about this. So I personally am a white moon witch. A white moon cycle is when you ovulate with the full moon and you bleed with the new moon. And the red moon is when you ovulate during the new moon and then you bleed during the full moon. So those 2 cycles are probably what you are striving for. There's also the pink and purple cycle, which are with the waxing and waning moons. So the white moon is traditionally the mother moon. Traditionally, it's called a fertile time because the full moon represents fertility. You're more aligned with the universe, with nature. White moon witches are linked to creativity and nurturing and growth, and they're all about collaborating. Red moon witches are known as the wise women cycle, and a lot of shamans and priestesses and healers and oracles sync up with this moon cycle. They tend to be passionate and they like to guide others. They feel very inspired and adventurous, and they can be kind of mysterious, but they also are great guides to others. They're very intuitive. 9, track your period. You don't need anything fancy, just get an app. I use In the Flow, and I also use Stardust. Stardust is a really good app for this because they actually tell you all about the phases and what kind of witch you are. And you can actually track things really easily. And they go very into depth. So if you're trying to cycle sync or connect to the moon, this will be very helpful for you because it also tells you what phase the moon is in, what energy you might be feeling. Like it's a fantastic app. 10 is moon water. I made a video about how to make your own moon water. Moon water is basically water that is infused with the moon's energy, and drinking it or bathing in it can really help you feel more connected to the moon and kind of channel the moon's energy. Make sure you check it out. And then 11 are moon crystals. This is just a bonus. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do any of these. You can just do a few. They might help. But there are certain crystals that are more aligned with the moon's energy and might help you attract that energy more. The top 3 I recommend are moonstone, selenite, and clear quartz. So this book changed my life. It's Alisa Vitti is the author, and it's called In the Flow. And she goes into depth about cycle syncing and understanding how to sync the phases of your menstrual cycle. She doesn't go too far into like the moon, but if you're looking to learn how to cycle sync, this is the best book for you, and it changed my life. Like I am a new person after reading this book. It just changed my world. Like I hardly have any PMS symptoms at all. I used to have the worst periods. This changed my world. Like, so read this. Read this. Oh my God. I'm going to post links below to these books. She also, I have a bookmark here, but she also wrote WomanCode. And this is for people who have hormonal problems mostly. I mean, you can read it, but you would probably get more out of this one. And WomanCode is basically like, I have PCOS, so it really helped me regulate my cycle. It helped me really understand my fertility and how it works, and understand like, I don't know, the key components, things that I really had no idea. And I was told I would never be able to cure it. They tried to prescribe me all this medication for it. And I completely like reversed all of it thanks to this. So if you have anything going on, read this book. It's so good. But no matter who you are, if you're a woman or you menstruate, read this, okay? And also I just wanted to run this by you because this book is amazing as well. And it's called Come As You Are. And so if you are a woman and you want to know more about your sex life and transform your sex life, read this book. It changed my life, really. So I know this doesn't have anything to do with the moon, but since we're here, you know. I will post links to the Stardust app and also these books below, and your chart. I will try to get you your chart, and also any of the videos that I mentioned that might help you better understand the moon or sync your cycle to the moon. I really hope that you guys try this because it really changed my life. I just feel healthier. I feel better in my own skin. I don't know how to explain it fully, but it's fucking awesome, and I feel more like intuitive and psychic. So try it. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below with any experiences that you've had or any questions, and subscribe. Bye-bye.